on the new dragon rod. First bass on it. 20-inch river stud. Yep, solid one. Jeez. But that medium light lower half, it lets you fight some nice keeper size bass a lot better than say a much thinner light action base of the blank. Oh boys, got one this morning. Looked like there might have been two chasing it or something. Or it's a pretty good one of the two. Oh my goodness, guys, it's big. That is why it's big. It's a big bass. On the new dragon rod, first bass on it. Wow. It's like a 20-incher. That's awesome. Big old head shaking guy. That'll do. That's a great way to start the trip off. Big old long river fish. Ate the custom whopper plopper. That's a great way to start the morning off, guys. 20-inch river stud. First bass that I ever caught on my new rod. And that's kind of the feature of today's video. I'll tell you about it. So I'm out here kind of doing like a one rod, one reel kind of deal. I do have two just in case, but I'm probably only going to throw this one right here. It's my new Sioux Versatile Dragon series, guys. It's 6'10". It's got a medium light base with an ultralight upper. So it really is kind of a do-it-all budget BFS stick. And I'm loving how it's casting. It handled this first big one really well. So far, I'm very happy with it. Man, this fish has seen some things, y'all. It is an old fish, long, experienced river hunter. There's been two versions of the Dragon before this one. This is the third model, as far as I know. There are the specs on it, guys. So it's a 6'10" with a medium light base and an ultralight upper. It's rated for 2 to 12 gram lures, which is under 1/16 of an ounce all the way up to 12 grams, which is pretty solid. The line rating is really funky. It says 2.5 to 5 pound line. I've got 6 pound floor on there. I really don't think that's probably something that I'll ever follow for sure with this thing. But it's 6'10" and it's 2-piece. So it is really portable if you want to take it down into 2 pieces. Rod handle is cork. The base of it's kind of more of like this synthetic kind of stuff, but really pretty BFS bass stick there, especially of the budget version. I believe this model is $94 on Bait Finesse Empire, but so far this thing is going to be like it's advertised, extremely versatile, and that's my goal for today. I want to try to catch, already did on topwater, we're going to try to catch a fish with a moving bait, middle surface, like either a crankbait or a swim bait or chatterbait, and then we're also going to try to get one fish on bottom baits, just to do a little bit of everything and see what this thing is capable of. Whoa. Another pretty good shot there on that pond plopper. I didn't tell y'all, but that's what I caught that first fish on, is old Jeff's 75mm pond plopper. It's casting really well. I got an arc gravity on this Dragon this morning, guys, so honestly one of the best BFS reels there are out there. So this is a really good feeling combo in the hand. Come on, fish. Oh boys, might be a better one. Dang, it's another stud on the plopper. Yeah, he's gonna fight. That's a thick one. Dang it. That was a good fish. It wasn't quite as big as the first one, but he just kind of nipped it. I had one hook on the top of his head and he came off when he came up and jumped right here. But dead slick. The bites aren't gonna be all that plentiful this morning, I can already tell, but the big fish seem like they're finally gonna be starting to chew. This is kind of like, our very, 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 very late summer's last breath, guys. I think it's October 12th or 13th, and it's the last couple days of mid-90s that we're probably going to have of the year. So I didn't anticipate a great bite, but the bites that we've gotten so far have been solid. Got something small on the popper. Tiny bluegill. Man, I think it's about time to stop trying to force feed them topwater and switch to a subsurface bait. Probably the little glide bait with how dead still it is this morning. Water's fairly clear for here. I have one or two more spots I want to try throwing the popper to see if I can get another topwater fish, but then we will be putting on a subsurface bait and we'll see how that rod handles it, guys. What? Golly. Guys, I also have the nugget tied on as kind of like a follow-up bait, and man, that bass hit right there. Didn't eat it though. Didn't eat the popper all the way, swiped at it. Didn't eat the nugget, so son of a gun. Picky, picky, picky. Might be a worm type day, who knows. Fish, Naj fish, guys. Cool. All right. So there is a subsurface treble bait. We got a fish on. Not super big, but at least we got two fish on the board now. Ate that chartreuse and purple Euro tackle Naj. So there's a little 13-inch Naj fish for you. So we got a subsurface moving bait on the Dragon. That medium light base, especially when I had that big fish on this morning, I really feel like it helped me keep more leverage. The original Dragon and the Dragon 2 is very, very light all the way to the base, and it is super moderate actioned in my opinion. I don't even think it's listed as that, but it definitely fishes like a moderate action rod. This one is a true hybrid. It really does feel like it has a like moderate fast, like ultralight upper half on it, and it's got a straight up fast action base on it to give you some beef behind it. So, and I think we're going to have to end up dragging some bottom baits, so we'll see how sensitive it feels as well. There's one, tiny, on the Flashback Mini. Apart from the bite not being that good, just a little largy there. I'm throwing a 1/16 ounce Flashback Mini, which if y'all watch the channel, you know it's literally probably one of my most productive baits on BFS, with the 3-inch Moondog flat top minnow on it. But that tiny blade is sometimes hard to feel when it's vibing, especially on a spinning rod, and if it's on like a bigger casting rod. But that ultralight tip on that Sioux Dragon, I can feel that thing buzzing down there, and it's so important to be able to feel when the fish bite that thing, especially when it's a tough bite like this. So the sensitivity on that little Flashback Mini is not quite as good as like my Dobbin Sierra, but it's fairly close, so I'm pretty happy with it. Guys, good one. Yep, solid one. Oh man. On the Flashback Mini. on, buddy. Oh yeah, really, really good one. Probably a 19. Probably about the size of the one they got off on the plopper earlier. There we go. There's another full-size bass for us. Y'all, I was a little ambitious on the length. That one's 17, not 19. Still a real fun catch. The ultralight upper half is super sensitive and lets you cast those 1/16 ounce really small baits a long ways and still feel them vibrating. But that medium light lower half, it lets you fight some nice keeper size bass a lot better than say a much thinner light action base of the blank. Of course. I got a fish on a backlash, guys, and I can't even reel. Great. You've got to be kidding me. Guys, I cannot get this untangled around the end of my rod tip, so I guess I'm just going to hand line this bass in. It's a nice bass too. Got tangled around the end of my rod and I couldn't get it away for the life of me. That Coltiva screw lock held on that entire time in his mouth. That's a really nice fish. I'm gonna have a mess and a half trying to get all of that line back in my spool, but I caught it on a bellows gill. The wind made like a wind knot at the end of my rod tip and couldn't reel, and I couldn't get it undone because there was tension on that end of the line, so just had to hand line him in. That's a solid one. That's like another 20. He tried to straighten that hook out but couldn't quite do it. Not 20, guys, but a 19. Still a really, really nice one. That was my first bite in like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours probably. The rod set the hook, but it didn't do the landing. I had to do that with my hands. There she goes. All right, now to try to sort that mess out. Y'all, I was able to get the knot undone. I was able to get my rig back all intact somehow. It was sitting on the bottom forever and it still came back, didn't get snagged. But I just caught that fish on a 1/16 ounce free rig. That's a decoy 1/16 ounce free rig weight, tungsten free rig weight. And that's a number 2 Coltiva light wire screw lock hook and a 2.8 inch G-crack bellows gill. That's what just caught that nice one. Felt that one. Might be another decent one, boys. He wasn't that big. The bites are so subtle, which is a good thing because I guess I really am testing the sensitivity here. But I definitely felt that one, and they're just fiddling with it though, man. They're just fiddling with it. I'm gonna get this next one. I'm gonna get one more, guys. The bite is honestly just not good, so I'm gonna try to catch one more, and then we're gonna head back to the house, and I'm gonna kind of show you some comparisons to the other models of the Dragon and a couple other BFS rods to give you guys some reference on what this versatile Dragon looks like compared to some other sticks. Well, guys, I just felt a green sunfish. Eat it if that tells you anything. But these bass are not being easy today. I did not expect it to be, but I suppose it's probably better to do a review of a day where stuff is tough and you really have to fish hard to put some fish on the board. So far it's been able to do that for me. Felt that green sunfish eat that. Got some. Ooh, got one, guys. All right, we finally got one more, guys, to stick. Put on something even a little bit smaller than the bellows gill to make it happen. We're going back home after this little fella. And there's the second fish we put on the board, guys, on the bottom baits. Got him on Jeff's little 3-inch pond hog on the free rig still. Also at the tips of the rods, guys. So this is my Sioux Dragon 2 rod that I use as my crankbait rod. This is the new Dragon Versatile Finesse tip. And this is the Dobbin 740C Sierra tip. So you notice this actually is the thickest towards the tip, this Dragon 2. It truly is an ultralight tip on the Dragon Versatile Finesse rod, guys. But it still is not near as tiny and sensitive as the Dobbin's Sierra 740C. But honestly, guys, you're comparing apples to oranges there. This is a $190 rod. This is a $94 rod. So this is double what this one costs. This Dragon 2 rod is straight up moderate. It's very, very moderate throughout the whole blank. That's why it makes a really good crankbait rod. I honestly think it's listed as fast, and maybe just because the tip of it is a little bit stout, they call it that, but it is so parabolic through the whole rod, guys. But yeah, you've probably seen it on cranking videos, guys. When I catch a big bass on this Dragon 2 rod with a crankbait, it just doubles over. It is very, very, very moderate in my opinion. They hit it out of the park with this Dragon Versatile Finesse rod because it truly does feel like a moderate fast rod. It is listed as fast, and I would say it's probably a little bit more on the fast side of moderate fast than moderate. But I do think it is versatile enough to be able to throw moving baits and to be able to throw bottom baits. I was able to catch a big one on topwater, and I was able to catch a really nice one on the little chatterbait. And it felt very sensitive with the chatterbait. It felt very sensitive with the bottom bait that I was throwing today, guys. The fish just weren't eating all that well today. That was kind of the moral of the story, but it's still just not in the same category in terms of quality of the Dobbin's Ultra Finesse casting rods, guys. That 740C is truly my do-it-all rod. But for $94, half the price, that thing compares to it, which is very surprising. Another thing I didn't get to do with the Dragon Versatile rod today, guys, was crank with it. And honestly, they just were not going to bite a crankbait today, guys. I've fished that place so much that I know when they'll bite a crankbait, and they were not going to bite a crankbait today, so I didn't even bother. But I'm very curious to see what a crankbait is going to feel like and fish like on that Dragon Versatile rod. And I'm assuming it's going to go well, guys, just from the feel of the rod and what I threw on it today. So just to sum it up and give my final 2 cents on it, I feel like it's a moderate fast rod. I do feel like it is a true medium light at the base of the blank. I felt like I had quite a bit of control over those bigger fish that I fought today, guys. I like that the handle is thick. It's thicker than the base of my Dragon 2. Gives me a little more control when I cast. So at that $94 price point, guys, I really feel like it is a great do-it-all budget BFS stick for any of you bass guys that are looking to like get into bait finesse fishing, but you don't want to break the bank. I would 100% recommend this rod. I will be fishing it a lot more in the coming months, so you'll just be hearing more and more about it from me. But at the same time, don't get me wrong, I will be throwing my Sierras a lot as well because they are an incredible stick. So also, don't forget, if y'all want a small baits and big fish ruler like what you saw me using today, they're 35 bucks. And you can contact me at my email, which is a Gmail account listed in the description above. $35 gets you the measuring mat, and it also gets you entry into all future big bass contests. The winner from the month of October is going to win a big Southern Illinois Pond Hopper prize pack with 8 bags of plastics, and I'll probably throw a hard bait in there as well. I know I was pretty scattered with that review, guys, so if you have any questions about that new Dragon Finesse rod, go ahead and talk with me in the comments below about it. I always answer everybody's questions in the comments. Please leave a like for me if you enjoyed the struggle on this one, guys. Consider subscribing if you haven't yet, and please share this with a finesse loving friend and help me grow my channel to that 3,000 subscriber mark by the end of this year. But thank y'all so much for watching, and y'all take her easy. We'll catch you on the next one. Felt that one. Might be another decent one, boys. He wasn't that big.